Good morning, crafty friends. Hello and happy Thursday. You get to see me here today. I mentioned on Tuesday that I was going to pop in because we have a special thing happening today. The first Thursday of every month is a new color drop, and that's happening the rest of this year. So you can mark your calendars. The first Thursday of each month, you get to see a new color at Tailored Expressions. And we are so excited about today's color. I can't wait to share it with you. We had our guessing game yesterday on our Fans of Tailored Expressions page. We do that with each new color launch, and we love to hear your guesses. There are some really great guesses and some that I think you're just trying to pull our chain a little bit to get some laughs, and I love those just as much. So thanks to everybody that participated yesterday. I will share with you in a little bit once I introduce the color name. I'm going to share with you what percentage of guesses had the correct answer, and also some of my favorite funny guesses and most popular guesses that were incorrect, but popular guesses. So let's say good morning to a few people. After I'm done too, I shouldn't forget to say this, Susan is going to craft with you guys today. She's going to be using the new color and some of the products that just released on Tuesday this week during our Pick Your Pairings release. And so I'm going to turn it over for crafty time with Susan after we talk through the new color launch. So good morning, Joan. Hi, Denise from Washington. Deneen is here. Hi, Jill. Excited for today. Hi, Vicki, Kelly, Linda, Rachel, Sarah. I would love to hear, raise your hand in the comments or leave a shout out if you got the color guess correct. I'm interested to see. I always think it's fun to see how many of you, if you've looked already and you know the new color name, tell me if you got it right. All right, I am going to go ahead and flip my screen so I can introduce you to our latest color. Here are some beautiful samples. We'll talk about those in just a bit. Maybe you can pick out the common color in those samples. But here we go. We have our new color, Popsicle. Here it is. Super pretty. I would describe this as a purple. You can see I painted my nails to match. I did that several weeks ago, and it was kind of a teaser that I was putting out in front of you guys without even really telling you that I was teasing our new color. So Popsicle is a beautiful purple, and we have it in all of these different color items. So color matching enamel dots. We have the mini ink cube, the full-size ink pad, and the ink refill, along with cardstock. This is 100-pound cardstock. Beautiful, smooth finish, scores and folds great. So you can grab that in packages. And then we have a couple of add-on items as well. We have our palette playbook. This is something we have just started doing with our new colors. I know many of you have expressed how much you would love to have these palette playbooks for every color in our collection, which I think is a very good possibility. It's going to take us some time to get through that, but if you have not grabbed these yet, they are a laminated reference card, and they feature here at the top what we call our shade sequence. Some of our past ones that we have already released have 3 colors in the sequence. This one has just 2, so Popsicle is considered a lighter shade of Plum Punch. So it's in that same family, magenta family with Plum Punch. And then on the front, you also get Taylor's Favorite Combo with Popsicle. And then on the back side, there are several more color combinations that you can reference when you're ready to create with Popsicle. So you can grab this card as an individual item. And then we also have our Love to Label sets. So these are something that we're also putting out with new colors, and we'll be offering these in every color in our collection come the new year. So right now, this label sheet and stamp is only available for our new colors that have launched since July. And this one has different label sizes on it for you to use in different ways. I'm going to show you some different products that we recommend using these on. So you get 4 of the long kind of skinny label, if you can see how that's cut. It is hard to see, but I'll show you here. So we like to label the side of our ink pads with these, and we actually put them on both sides so that when you're sliding your ink pad into your storage, it doesn't matter which way it goes to the front, you can still tell what color that is. We also like to wrap those large or those long thin labels around the neck of our detail blender brushes, so you can see how that's just wrapped around there. The great thing about these Love to Label sheets is they are made from a vinyl material. They're coated, so they will resist more of, you know, the mediums, and even if your fingers are a little dirty and you touch it. The paper stickers that we have in our other colors currently, they will absorb some of that, you know, whether you have something on your fingers, that kind of stuff. These are coated, so they're a little bit more sturdy and long lasting. So then we also, in that Love to Label pack, we have some of the square labels here. And those we like to put on the bottom of our ink cubes. So sometimes, you guys know, the top and the bottom of the ink cube gets separated. And other than this little label here, there's not another way to tell what color is on the bottom, of course, besides inking it and stamping it out. So that will help you if you ever happen to maybe have a spill of all of your mini ink cubes and your tops and bottoms get separated from each other. We also use it inside of our Tiny Things container. So if you are cutting out die cut pieces and storing them in our simple storage for Tiny Things, we use that size label for that as well. And then the other label on here is our Create blender brush label that fits on our bitty blender brushes. They would also fit on our large blender brushes, the colored handles. You could put this sticker on this brush to help you note that maybe you want to use this brush for Popsicle. So it fits on both areas, even the colored brush handles and the bitty brush handles. So you get two of those. You can put one on the front and one on the inside of the brush. So any questions I'm missing, Whitney? I've been seeing comments going by pretty fast and furious. Have I missed anything people are wondering about?
Envelopes for the new colors. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
I did respond, but...
Yes, I did address that with our first new color launch. So we do not have new envelopes for our new colors this year. So it's something we're looking into. We did choose these colors and match them just from exactly what I wanted the color to be. And so we are producing this just for Tailored Expressions. And in order to do envelopes, we have to do a very large run of a thinner paper to make into envelopes. And so you might see them someday, but we're still weighing out whether we sell enough envelopes to be able to produce that. So yes, these new colors releasing this year do not have coordinating envelopes with them. Okay, so the other thing I did not mention was all of these items that you see here that I've just talked about are available in an I Want It All Popsicle bundle. So if you want everything that just released for Popsicle, you can grab it in one click on the website, or you can pick and choose if you would like to do that. And let's show you just a couple samples. You saw them when I jumped on here. I got a few samples here. These two Jill created, and this one over here is from Sue Banker. I love this color and how it pairs so nicely with lots of different things. I think this here, speaking of pear, it pairs really nicely with pear. This color that Sue used here is the pear colored cardstock. It kind of looks like Jill used a little bit of pear on her blending of the flowers in the background as well. And then really bright and bold, you can pair it with, this is passion fruit, blue corn, wintergreen, and it looks like mango. So really fun, different color combinations. Susan's going to share another one on the cards that she creates today. More of a blending combo that looks amazing together. And tune in too when Susan talks about our True Colors cards, because that's another great way to store your color combinations that you love and want to refer to again in the future. So let's talk about one more thing. We try to give you, if there is a good OLO marker match, we try to give you the best match that there is for the cardstock and ink color that we just released. Now, OLO markers are not made to match Tailored Expressions, so I am just giving you the best match that they have available. If you have OLO markers, it would be V2.3. So let me color that out here for you. You can see what that looks like in comparison to the Popsicle cardstock. And there's what that looks like. It's a pretty darn good match. So V2.3, you can reference that and other OLO marker matches on our website. We have a chart available for different cardstock colors that match OLO markers. So the other thing I was going to tell you guys was how many of you got this color name correct. So I was doing too much talking and I didn't see how many of you raised your hands in the comments, but 2.5% of you guessed correctly. We had almost 700 unique guesses, so fun to note, only 2.5% guessed Popsicle. I know that the popsicles are a lot of different colors, and sometimes I just like to choose fun food names for our colors. So you might not actually find a popsicle in this color in your grocery store. Don't go buying every popsicle just to try to find one. But I thought it was a fun color name that made me think bright, summery, beautiful light purple color. And some of the other very popular guesses were lavender. So lavender, we already have a lavender glaze. Beetroot, that was an interesting one, but several of you guessed that, even more than the correct name. Hibiscus was another one. Daiquiri was another one as well. And then some of the funnier guesses for Popsicle were Purple Cow, which...
That's my favorite.
That was great. Did you drink those? Do you know what Purple Cow... Isn't it an ice cream drink with like... Somebody's going to have to look it up now because Susan's looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, you're not
What's a
crazy.
Purple Cow then?
I feel like I do.
I thought it was like ice cream with grape juice mixed together. Like ice cream. It's like a
Yes,
shake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We used to do orange sickles at the place that
Like dreamsicles.
We did orange pop with ice cream.
Orange soda and ice cream. Yeah, I think it's either grape soda or grape juice with ice cream.
We need an afternoon office try on that one. I think that needs to be tested.
I think so too. I don't know where we can find a Purple Cow around here. Maybe we can look up our own recipe.
I got a recipe.
Whitney's got one.
Vanilla ice cream, milk, and grape juice concentrate.
Okay. Yes.
I want purple soda. Like, is there a grape soda? No?
There is a grape soda. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, everybody's answering me. Grape soda and ice cream. It's an ice cream float. Yes. So Purple Cow was a great guess. Also, Pepto-Bismol. I will give you that the color does look kind of pinky like Pepto-Bismol. I sure hope you don't consider Pepto-Bismol a food, though, or a drink. It is,
let's not.
and we're not adding medicine to our category of things we name colors after. So... let's see. Lisa asked a great question. Will TE be carrying the new OLO colors that are coming out this fall? Lisa, you must have heard the chatter recently because I know Lori Craig has been talking recently about how they are adding more colors to the OLO marker collection, and it is a big number of colors. I haven't heard Lori's announcement, so I don't want to let the cat out of the bag about that, but we are going to be carrying those markers, and they will be available for pre-order at Tailored Expressions in a full set, and then we will carry them in open stock once they have shipped to us. So, good question. We will be having more OLOs coming soon. All right, one more thing I wanted to go through before I turn it over to Susan. I know a lot of you like to see how the color compares with some of the other colors in our collection. So Popsicle is this one right here. You can see it is a really great shade sequence with Plum Punch. So it is designed as a lighter version of Plum Punch. I pulled in Strawberry Milkshake because I think when you see the Popsicle online, you might automatically think, oh, that's pink, but it actually is a really nice shade of purpley pink. So here it is with more of a true pink color. And then we'll bring this back in. This is the Plum Punch. Then if you want to see it with our lightest purple that we currently have in our collection, that would be Lavender Glaze next to the Popsicle. And then I know some of you really do like to have maybe 3 shades that you would blend together. And I am not discouraging, the addition of a 3rd shade. I just don't think we have one that exactly works in this sequence. But I love experimenting with color. So you could be adding in other colors with these, like this is Concord Grape. This is Jelly Donut. I think even dragon fruit would be fun to add in here. It has a little bit more of a purple to it. And then this is passion fruit. So you have options for adding an even darker color to the shade sequence. But I wanted to make sure you had this visual of kind of how Popsicle fits into our pinks and purples. Oh, thank you. Let me show them real quick since you brought it over. Susan brought me the dragon fruit.
So hide it. It's not full.
It's not a full sheet, but that's okay. So those would be really pretty together. Maybe not as a shade sequence, but I think they match in intensity and kind of color theme. So.
Ooh la la, purple.
All right, you guys, I'm going to turn it over to Susan now. Susan, you're not going to get away from the on camera today because we have to show everyone your pants.
Well, they're not going to be able to see my
Ken,
pants.
you got to be taller. Do I have to lift you up? I won't lift you up on camera.
They're
That
purple.
is so
They're
cute.
purple.
I know. I walked in and I was like, Susan,
They're
you
perfect.
did
They
it.
are the perfect.
Did you buy those or you had them?
I had them. Yeah.
Susan had Popsicle pants.
I
I really
love colored
tried
pants
my
right
best,
now.
and I didn't get as close as you did to the
I
Popsicle.
want that to go with
But
my
we
pants.
we could go
Yeah,
together.
wear
Your
Plum
pants
Punch
with my top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be perfect. No, I just liked them, and then I just happy accident. So
Yes.
yeah, but you all can't really see it. Sorry.
Well, we had to show them off before you get started. So, all right, are you ready to go?
I am.
I'm excited about your project today.
Me too.
think
I
it'll
get to
be
use
fun.
Popsicle. I tell you, in the office, like, people are dressed in Popsicle color. Like, this has been talked about all week.
It's an
so
occasion. I think actually Rachel has dressed in Popsicle every day this week. Yeah.
There's
so-
some excitement about this color, so I love it.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get you started in your crafty time. Have fun, everybody.
Thank you. She had to do all the talky talk. Now I get to just do the fun part. Yeah. I just being as I knew she was going to chat a little bit with you, I did cheat a little and I did a couple of layers this morning just to get us going. I'll lay my colors out. These are my cards we're going to create today. What I love always is getting a 2-for-1 situation. So we're going to blend this panel once and get 2 cards out of it by using our all planned out 3 die set. I don't know. I feel like this is just newly released. It hasn't been around that long, this one. So if you did Combo Club and you signed up for all 6 months, you got this free. But I have really enjoyed it. I like the look. I think it's really fun with these fans. But I want to show you my colors. So, of course, we have Popsicle, but layers 1 and 2 are my banana cream and pineapple. I did have to go a really heavy hand with this. So if you have a different, like, deeper yellow you like, I would go with that. And then, of course, from the kickoff of all this new color stuff, Papaya and Persimmons, which I love so much, and I think they go so well with Popsicle and Plum Punch. I love the 2 of them together. So much, yeah, there's a lot of a lot of color going on with this one, and I think it's very sunshiny. So yeah, let's put those aside. That's what we're going to work on today. And I already did, like I said, I did layer 1 and 2 just because I kind of thought I didn't want to be able to finish hopefully 2 cards today. We'll see. So I already went and put down layer 1 was my banana cream pie. And the cool part, this foilet that was released on Tuesday from your Pick Your Pairings was brilliant. I couldn't believe that this had to be asked for. It's just one of those things, you know, you're in the process of making things and it's like, oh yeah, we should have totally done a foilet for that. Great suggestion. So I put down the banana cream for layer 1, if you're wanting to fully follow what I did. Layer 2, again, like I said, is pineapple, but I think I could have even done just a little bit of mango in it to really brighten it up a little bit, but you can still see the variation in color there. Then layer 3, I'm sorry, is going to be, layer 3 and 4 is going to be kind of our peachy colors, which is papaya and persimmons. So this starts with layer 3. Good morning. Oh yeah, all the chatter. I'm excited. I just saw the hint of football in the comments and I'm excited. Starts tonight, Friday night, then Saturday we have our in-state rivalry going on. And then Sunday is a full day of football. So I don't know about you, Whitney. I'm excited.
Woo! You know I'm ready.
I am ready. I'm excited. So I guess I feel like I would like to know this question. For the record, whoever guessed Purple Cow, it's legit my favorite. And I feel like I've heard it. And I'm wondering, is there some sort of bedding line that's purple something? But I looked it up. It's not Purple Cow, so I don't know what I'm confusing it with. But I did see a lot of Squishmallows that were really cute Purple Cow. So I'm like, I might need one of those just to take care of that idea in my head. So anyway, we're going to start with the papaya. And of course, I love my glass board buddy. Something that I did yesterday, and it was kind of an accident, but if you guys ever get like the fuzzies and stuff on the back of here, that might be a good thing if you have issues with getting it off. But yesterday I took mine and I wiped it clean and got it all back to new stage, like you cleaned out your car, you had your carpet in your house cleaned. I got it, and then it really stuck to the glass board like a lot. So if you're having trouble getting yours to stay put, make sure you clean the bottom of it. Otherwise, if you need it to not stick so well, don't clean it. That's an accident I figured out on my own. So here at the office, we haven't changed. We have an orange handled brush that we started with papaya, and it has worked. And I know that this is just papaya in this one, but I am going to go light-handed with it. And clockwise and counterclockwise is definitely the way I blend. So I tap off. I love using my glass board for that. And I go clockwise and counterclockwise. And I brush or swirl. If I tap, sometimes you only get that highest point of your brush picked up. But yeah, I try to swipe if I'm thinking about it and I can do it. Sometimes you just got to think about it, right? I love papaya. So I asked, did anyone say? Purple mattress, that is what I'm thinking. Thank you, Holly. You're exactly right. Thank you. And other people said it. I apologize. Now I know what's stuck in my head. That's why I wasn't giving Taylor a questioning look. I was more like my head was trying to calculate this thing that I couldn't quite figure out at the time. Purple mattress, that must be what I'm thinking of. I don't know if you guys have heard me say this before. We got down the road of the ice cream thing. When I was in high school, my very first job besides like babysitting was working at a little ice cream shop. And one of my favorite things was we made these different flavored freezies, and we would make where you mixed root beer and ice cream. Instead of a float, you mixed it all up with a blender. And we also did it with orange soda. And I was like, gosh, we didn't sell a purple soda, but I have a daughter that would love grape soda done with the ice cream. I bet she would love that. Should try that this weekend, just for a little football treat. So that was layer 3 that I pulled up, and that shows you my papaya. I might have gone a little heavy-handed with it, but we'll see here. And this project, regular brushes or bitty brushes, either work, I guess. What's up, Whitney?
Someone is asking what foil color you use, but do you want to let them know you haven't foiled yet?
I haven't foiled
maybe
yet.
Saw your sample.
Yep, and that's a good thing for me to talk about too. In the past, we've said, so just tell you right away, so I don't forget, the question was, is champagne, which I am sure everyone out there is absolutely shocked by this. I use champagne. That is my favorite foil. I use it all the time. I just asked the other day, copper, why we don't have a copper. Does anyone else think that's a good idea? I don't know. I was making fall stuff, and I just thought it would be really pretty to have copper. As you guys know, I love using our TE copper embossing powder. I thought it would be fun to have our foil in that. So, yeah, we used to call them, I think Charlie said it, dreamsicles or orangecicles. Anyway, I loved them. But we used orange soda, not orange juice. So, anyway, I loved working at the little ice cream shop. It was fun. I always feel like I know what I'm doing if I'm at a buffet or something where you get to do your own ice cream cone and fill it yourself. I actually know how to make the swirl at the top and do it right. But the crazy part is now I don't even like ice cream. So I think I was around it too much. It was like a soft serve ice cream. It was a Dairy Queen type setup, but we called it the Dairy Sweet because Dairy Queen was trademarked, and in the small towns where Dairy Queen did not come in, the owner had like 3 little shops in different towns where I lived, and I loved it. Taught me a lot. But to this day, I'm not that big on ice cream. I don't know why. I like a bite of it, but anyway. I guess, what was your first job? It's not where, usually babysitting, which that technically was my first job. Whitney, what was your first job?
I worked at Outback Steakhouse.
Outback Steakhouse. You were a waitress.
Oh, I was what was the
Host. You were the host. Whitney was a hostess with the
smiling
mostest.
face.
Oh, is anyone shocked by this? I'm not shocked by this. Seems like the perfect spot for you.
It was fun.
I liked my first job. Really good owner that I worked for, and yeah. She taught us good work ethic of just staying busy all the time, and it was good. Okay, so forgive me, my favorite story from where I used to work, and I know I've told many of you that are our usuals this before. Again, this time I am using bitty, before I get into my story, in the Persimmons, and only because we've designated this one. I could have used this one because I'm not doing any like detailed blending or trying to make anything different other than kind of concentrating towards the center. So this is layer 4, but you could use whichever one you want. I just wouldn't use the itty bitty ones. Sometimes you can get kind of blotchy results if you're trying to come into too big of an area with them. But so this is Persimmons, and I'll finish my story once I move on to my next layer here quick. And I might have to clean up my table so I don't mess any of my colors. You know what? I peeked. I always like doing hinge so that I can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to make this a little bit darker because I'm not seeing much of a variation between my 2 layers. I had to do the same thing. I must have gotten heavier handed with the lighter one this time. The centers don't really matter. I'm going to cover up quite a few of the centers with some of the new Popsicle enamel dots. That's very exciting. I think that's probably one of my favorite things we've added besides the labels, is that now I get some of our enamels and some of the fun new colors. I like them. I think I really like them mostly because of their low profile for mailing. I don't have to worry about that. This is going to be a little bit different color tone because I feel I can already tell it's darker. So let's peel this up. There we go. I do like where it's going though. It's a little bit darker than my original So, oh, worked in a bowling alley. That's another one. That might be Charlie. Oh, Joan was with me. So Dairy Queen, I feel like now I'm allergic to ice cream. Oh my gosh. Really? Oh, that's insane. Jamie worked at Outback too. That's fun. I love seeing this. Orange and orange sherbet make a really good drink. Oh, you guys, I love this conversation.
Wrapped gifts.
Oh, that sounds like a fun first job.
Like an amazing job.
Gosh, I have one of my daughters would be really good at that. Oh, I love that. Oh, but for only $1.25 an hour. Well, I think my daughter probably... Wow, that was a long time ago. That's hilarious. I don't remember. I guess I can't remember what I got paid. I know it wasn't very good. And that was before a tipping culture, too. Like, I didn't get any tips, even though we kind of had a sit-down area at our dairy suite that I worked at. Tips were like, if you got one every once in a while, it was like shocking. So... oh, well. So this is layer 5, and this is where we get to bring in our beautiful popsicle. So let's bring that in. I'm going to scooch this over just a smidge. I'm having an argument with my teal tape right now. Forgive me. It says, no, I want to rip today. There we go. Let's go like that. One more piece. Okay, bring in our popsicle, and beans, we have this beautiful new brush. Should I use it? We should just make it so we know it is our popsicle brush. Let's just use it. A new brush is so awesome. Like I said, the other day I went down to the studio and I just bought a new set of these because I think it's fun to have. Well, it's just nice to have new bristles, and they're so nice. So I'm going to just light hand on this one. Plum Punch is a strong color, lots of personality. This one's a little more subtle, but I do want to make sure I have variety in those colors. And I think I'm going to switch. I know this one is Popsicle, so I'm going to switch to this. It's just going to make the whole job go faster with the bigger brush. See, look at that. But we have designated this, and now it's ready to go. It's kind of like staking your claim to... your chair by putting your purse down. I have made the color on the bristles. But when I worked at the little dairy suite, if you worked over 4 hours, you got to take home an ice cream treat. So how many of you have already heard me tell this story? So yeah, and babysitting really was my first job, but outside of like having to like go in and fill out an application and all that stuff was dairy suite. But we got, if you worked over 4 hours, or at least 4 hours, you got an ice cream treat. And by the time I worked there, I was already kind of over ice cream. I think I just worked there long enough, or maybe I've always kind of not liked ice cream all that much, but I would just decide not to have it because there was no other option. It wasn't like you could swap it for a food item or anything like that. So I just didn't have it. And I don't know what, but one night I must have mentioned it during a conversation with my parents, and my dad, who absolutely loves, which my dad just turned 80, so I still adore this story. This is layer 6, let me say that, and I'm moving on to Plum Punch. He said to me, "You what?" And I said, "Yeah, I said, oh, I don't really like ice, don't need it. It's usually late at night. I don't take my ice cream." And he goes, "How long have you been doing that for?" And I'm like, "Oh, long time." And he said, "Well, you just bring that ice cream home to me." And so I'll never forget that, because he was like, "You what? How long?" And so it just always makes me laugh. My dad is such a cute little sweet tooth. So yeah, I said to him, "Well, what are you going to do? A lot of times I don't get home till 10:30 at night." So sorry for all of you who have already heard that story. It's just one of my favorites. So to this day, my dad loves his ice cream. So I said to him, "What are you going to do with it if I come home at 10 or 10:30 at night?" And he said, "Well, you just put it in the freezer then." So I would make him whatever he wanted that would freeze. Sometimes he was like, "Just bring me home a cup of it." He didn't care if it had toppings in it or anything. He just wanted it. And then for years after I quit working there, he would be like, "Stopped by the dairy suite today for my ice cream cone." So good memories. Yep. If I have ice cream, I want something sweet and salty, like a peanut butter parfait, or I actually like to crush peanuts just on vanilla ice cream. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm more of a salty tooth, so yeah. Let's see, did anyone else have? Thanks, Sue. It's one of my favorite stories of my dad. Any other jobs? I was seeing what anyone else said, so. And is anyone else going to watch football tonight? Not with me, but enjoy that. We're here, being we're in Iowa. It's Iowa and Iowa State weekend. So tomorrow I have to wear my gear for Iowa State. That's where I went to school. It's an in-state rivalry that kind of gets, hyped all week long. I do plan to wear Iowa State tomorrow.
Woo!
Whitney's going to wear her shirt that says, I just like football. How does it go?
I just bought a sweater that said, I hope both teams have fun.
I just hope everyone has fun.
I just hope everyone has fun.
I love that.
I love it.
Whitney.
No one gets hurt. Everyone's just happy. But I do love football. You know I love football.
Oh, yeah. We both
I got
do.
my Packers. I get kind of crazy about them. And then everything else I just kind of say, I just love to watch.
I do too.
Good sports. Anything.
Yeah. I saw a shirt last year that said "Go Offense," and I was like, "That's me." Kind of. I feel like I kind of get wrapped up in that. Taylor, not so much.
Me?
You'll put up with it, won't you?
I'm in volleyball watching season.
You are.
And Nebraska plays this weekend, I believe. So.
See?
I'll be
Oh,
watching that.
there are Go State, Go Hawks. All right. We've got it going already. I know my husband got invited to some, and I'm not even going to be able to say, I think it might be Bama versus someone, Alabama versus someone else, but you can't even quote me on that. But he's going just because it's a huge rivalry game, and he wants to just feel the excitement in the stadium. So he's going with someone who is a fan and has tickets. And he's like, but I don't know what color to wear. And so I want Whitney's shirt in male version so that he can just go and say, may we all have fun. Go both teams. I don't know. Something like that. So there we go. That I cleaned it up just so I didn't forget. Got my Plum punch down. I feel like this is much brighter. It could be just that it's wet. It might dry back a smidge. But I did already turn on my mink. I have to say something. This, I can already tell because I was noticing it on my stencil. There's something sticky on the back of this stencil. I didn't notice it until I had it down. But it was sticking to my cardstock. Do you see how, I don't know if it had pixie spray on the back of it at some point or what, but it pulled up a lot of my toner. Do you see that? So if I have spots after I foil, that's going to be why. I noticed it when I tried to shift it, and when I peeled it up, did you all hear I could hear the tape letting go. So if you notice that it didn't foil great, it's because I should have cleaned, I believe it was pixie spray. That's why I'm not a lover of pixie spray, because I like to emboss and I like to foil. So make sure you get that off the back of it if you're doing a foil it and sending it through the mink. Let me get this into screen for you. So we have this, and while I'm here, I'm also going to take our Fantastic Birthday, and we're going to use some champagne foil on that. So we released this also on Tuesday with the Pick Your Pairings. So we have the stamp set and the coordinating die that was released previously, and I think they're fun. I love that font. Go ahead, what you can say. No.
Oh, I was just going to tell my funny story about how I came to know about this Iowa State rivalry.
Lay it on us while I
Brett and I came here to visit Taylor before we moved here, and we were just going to play some golf because there's like 5 golf courses here in Ankeny.
Okay.
And when we're flying in, we noticed everyone was we're flying from Denver to
Oh, was everyone in red or gold?
Everyone was in red or gold, and our flights were packed. We were like, what is happening? We get into town, and we have our pick of like any golf time.
Yeah, because everyone's doing
and
that.
It was beautiful outside. We're like, why does no one golf here? It's gorgeous. And then when we got there, everyone was watching the football game on the TVs like, what are you guys doing here?
Everyone in the clubhouse was sitting there watching the game like, why are you playing golf?
Why are you
doing this?
Yeah. And so now every year when it's Iowa State game, we always say, you want to go play some golf?
It's so true. Do it. I always think it's funny when people say, the only date available was for a September wedding, and it always seems to be the Iowa State game. It does. We've had two years in a row now. Last year we had one, and the year before that we had one. And it was like, it was the only date available in September. And I'm like, I can tell you why. Because it kind of shuts everything down. So, again, this is what we blended, and I did buff the back. I can already tell that there's remnants of that pixie spray because it peeled off this little piece right there on my foil. I don't know if you can see it, but I can already tell that's on there. So I always like to let my foil cool before I take it out of its carrier. I don't know, it seems to make a difference for me. So I'm going to let that set while we run this one through. But like I said, if we have not sticking in places, I'm going to blame it on the pixie spray. I mean, I immediately noticed it, but at that point it was already done because I can see where it peeled up some of that toner off of my paper. Boo. But the best way to get that off is, again, your 90% alcohol or scrubbing it a little bit with not something harsh, but with a little Dawn Power Wash to get that off of the back of your stencils just to make it clean again. So, Angie, she is a U of I fan. That's all right. And she always has a tea time. Yep, Angie, you're brilliant. It's so true. My sister went to U of I, University of Northern Iowa. So UNI, sorry, I said that wrong. She went there. So, but she picks Iowa State when they play each other. That's the way we were raised. Yeah, true, EC. So you're absolutely right. And you mentioned earlier how much you love Popsicle and Plum Punch together. That's what we were going for. That was our goal. So I apologize because we were talking football. I didn't talk to you about sandwich. This carrier sheet, we just had a boo-boo during our summer school. Still works just fine, but it goes your carrier sheet, your shim, the cardstock, your foil with the pretty side up, the dull side to the paper, and then always put it through your mink with the hinge fold going in first. So that's your sandwich. I usually always try to walk through it in case there's anyone on that's new. All right, let's peel these. There is our birthday sentiments. And sometimes I tell you to like cut them and just do one at a time so that way you're ready to go and you don't have to do the whole sheet. But being as I'm doing 2 cards, I thought it would be fine to go ahead and foil them. And some of these bigger, like the happy birthday and have a fantastic birthday, I thought those could go on the inside. So I would want the theme of the champagne color to continue. So let's see how this did, being as I've already warned you. Oh, not as bad as I thought. Over here, I know I could see black missing. Nope, not bad. Not bad at all. That's pretty good. That is really good. You're right. That pixie spray will hold it also. So I thought it would be fun. I didn't do it on these samples. I'm going to try the embossing folder, but I wanted to show you if you take and we're getting rid of the sides where those little alignment squares are. You can get 2 out of this. I am going to take some tape and make sure that I adhere it or hold it in place without hitting any that I want to save. So we'll go like this and like this. Let me turn my mink off and I'll bring in my die cut machine so we can die cut that, and then we'll capture this other side also. before I put it back. My pants really do match this well. It's kind of funny. Run that through. So again, this is, oh, sorry, that was really loud. All planned out 3. And the cool part is it has that layer for your design too. So again, the reason why I taped to the outside is because even this temporary tape can sometimes pull up some of your foil. So I'm going to take this, we'll flip it. I'm going to avoid those little alignment squares. Normally I would like to cut so that I'm not sending my paper through twice, but it's so close. If I want to make sure I don't get the top where the line is, where things all end. I'm trying to decide if I want to scooch it one way or the other. I think I like seeing a little bit more of this floret. So now I will chop this just so I can put it through and not have that horrible noise, that big crack. Send the other side through. And this is where I can, but I did pre-cut them for us. So here's our other piece. Get this out of the way. This is where you can take your dies for your sentiments and line them up. But I did, just not knowing how long we would take today. I already took the dies and cut the whole set out already. I cut the whole set of them out, so we're all ready to go with them. So because that takes me a minute to line them all up. So I did that again. That's the sentiment set, Fantastic Birthday, and the foilet that was released on Tuesday that goes with it from Pick Your Pairings. All right, I'm going to keep this out because we're going to set it up for 3D embossing folder. I need our TE mats. They come and there's a thick and a thin, and I always choose to just use the thick because I know our machine well here. So the thin one I just set aside. Some machines need it, older ones that kind of don't have enough tension. So we'll take that, and then our fan favorite, we're going to grab the embossing folder out of there. We'll see if this cooperates so that I can do both of them at the same time, or if it gets to be too complicated, we'll just do one at a time. Let's see if I can line these up. Now, I will tell you that we have tried this before, but the foil, you want to foil first, just because of the pressure that kind of the rollers in the mink apply. You want to do your die cutting and foiling first before you come in and do this. You can have cracking in that foil, especially with these 3Ds, because they, you know, push at that paper, and that foil doesn't have give to it like paper does. But it doesn't bother me. Some of the panels that have thicker pieces, maybe I would avoid it, like this one or this one that has some of the thicker lines. Maybe that will happen more. But this one, or the one that I did in my original one where there's just little spots, I don't think you're going to notice it as much. But again, if you have a scrap piece, or if you're just experimenting, I always think it's a good idea to just try it. Let me get a baby wipe out also so I can wipe the back of this when I get it all lined up. Just want to be ready. I might use a little bit of baby wipe. I might just do one at a time. I feel like it's too much pressure to do both because I'm getting this one lined up. Scooch it down. I might just line this up because normally with our 3D embossing folders, sometimes we scooch a little bit, but I'm just going to go ahead and line this up because there is not the full 6-inch area that I'm utilizing. I'm only using this top piece, so we're going to do that part. So I've got my base, the thicker of the two mats, and then my one cutting plate, whichever one you choose to use. So these two pieces, your second cutting plate, and if you're using the Sizzix machine, your thin die adapter, you don't need these two for this part. Run that through. Let's see. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So I see where my pixie spray pulled at my foil, but I don't see. That's awesome. That's pretty. Let's take the other piece, and you could probably do them together, but it takes a little pressure off of me not to. All right, so this is the end for this one. Wipe the back of this now. Just a little bit with a barely damped baby wipe. Line that up. Can you see how I'm getting that lined up? And again, this almost makes it more forgiving when it comes to the 3D. Being it's cut into 2 pieces. Again, always make sure you see your teal printing looking up at you to make sure you're going the right way with your embossing. So that's pressing up into your design. I don't even know if down would line up actually. There we go. There's the other one. Isn't that pretty? It's almost crazy all that's going on with that. Let me get this out of the way and we will build our card bases. So I have these 2 laying aside. And let's make the bases of my 2 Popsicle. I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of Popsicle, cut it in half at 5.5 and scored it at 4.25 to make my own Popsicle card bases. You could use sugar cube and then just put a full panel of Popsicle on the top, whatever works for you. I'm going to take our Funfetti, which is a 5 by 7 rubber background. It's one of the bigger ones that came out with our 5 by 7 release earlier this year. Gosh, I didn't even touch on this. How excited are we all that Plum Punch is back in stock too. I love that a bunch of our card stock that like banana cream pie and the ones we've been waiting on are back. I'm gonna go ahead and adhere that down. I'm also gonna roll just a piece of temporary tape just to hold my card base shut while I stamp this. Jamie, I agree with you. I'm a little hesitant about it myself because your foil doesn't have give like your paper does. But it worked. I didn't see any cracking on this one at all. I would say maybe the thicker areas might do it, but just be prepared for it. It didn't bother me. So, and I'm going to stamp this background with our sugar cube. And I don't need the whole thing, so I only need... My cards are just the bottom half that I'm showing that on. So I don't need the whole thing and I stamped the wrong side. So sugar cube ink and I did just ink it up a little bit. They dry out faster. I know, I agree. These foilets are probably my favorite. Oh. This is my problem. Are you guys all shouting at me? My magnet was in the way. So instead of re-inking, make sure you just put your Misty lid back down because you've got plenty of ink over on the other side. Now, all I need is this portion down in here, so I'm not even going to worry about this spot. I can prove to you that the ink is there and that the stamp stamps well. It's just I must have missed it when I was pressing. There we go. Set that aside to dry for a minute. Let's bring in the second one. I'm gonna grab the tape out of this one. But sugar cube ink takes a minute to dry, so I'm gonna set them aside and we'll build some other pieces before we get there. I don't know. They're challenging us now. No, you're absolutely right, ECs. Being I had already inked all that and there's probably moisture, you're absolutely right. You might not need to. That's absolutely true. You have a lot of moisture in that cardstock from your ink blending. So no, not necessarily. Nope. If you notice that that works enough for you, or with the humidity in your area, everything, all those things are different results for you in your embossing. So, yep, absolutely. She's asking if that ink that we blended all on this would be enough moisture and not have to use the baby wipe. Absolutely right. That could absolutely work, kind of depending. I just kind of do it because if I remember. I've had plenty of times where I don't remember and it works out just fine. So there we go. I will have to clean this up later. But we'll go back to the panel I did. Get this out of there, and we'll go back to the panel I did first because it should be a little bit more dry. I can see some wet sugar cubes sitting up on top. I'm just going to dab it with a dry microfiber just to get it so I can move along and not have it on my hands. So on the All Planned Out 3, we have the die that we already used, which is this inner piece. And then you get this adorable, the hello that's in there is so cute, but I wanted to use the Fantastic Birthday Sentiment because that's what, yes, Amarita, I will spill tea. Sorry, you haven't missed it. So I took this outer piece and I cut it out of the Plum Punch, which, like I said, I'm so excited is back in stock. It was not in stock for a little while, but it is back now. So if you missed it, make sure you check for any of those that we have finally fulfilled again. Kind of exciting. So I'm going to adhere this onto, I might just do both of them while I'm at it. I had a boo-boo the other day in the office and I made myself so mad. I had cut this so that I could see if I could get 2 out of 1 panel out of typing paper or copy paper. You can all laugh at me. It's not typing paper, it's copy paper or printer paper, just to kind of test it and see how it worked out. And I was cleaning up and I assumed the white that I saw flipped over, obviously I didn't have it embossed, was my printer paper cut. So I don't know why or what reason I thought I had to tear it in half before I threw it out, but I tore it in half, and as I tore it, I thought that didn't feel like printer paper. It was my ink blended panel. I was very mad at myself, so don't look too close at the pictures. I think I did a pretty good job putting it back together, but I have to tell you what I did because you just kind of got to laugh at yourself when you do things like that. I was like, that was really dumb. Like, why did I have to do that? So then it got us down this rabbit hole of discussion. How many of you take the empty Kleenex box and step on it before you put it in the garbage can? I said I get great satisfaction out of that. So it got, and I think that's what I was doing was, I think I was just like, well, I'm done with that, and I was going to toss it out. But it was my panel. But I did a really good job, I think. I think I hit it well. But again, don't look too close. I don't know why it possessed me that piece of paper had to be torn in half before it hit the trash can, but I knew immediately that I had done something wrong because the weight of the paper just feels so different. So, did anyone else step on their Kleenex boxes? I don't know. I feel like it's like some people go to like throw. Have you heard of these axe rooms where they throw like an axe, or they go break things in a room, or I don't know, just a way to feel like you got your aggression out, I guess, when I step on a Kleenex box before I'm going to throw it out. I am going to use a little foam on the back of these two just to pop up that little V that it creates. I think it's just a fun little pop of dimension. Also with the embossing, we get some nice dimension with that. So I'm just going to add a little bit. Again, it's my favorite, the 1/32, to pop that up. Add this. And I'm going to do as I always do, just peel one area kind of off so that I can not have to deal with the whole entire panel grabbing at me. Lay that on there. Press it down and peel off some of the backing that I've got here. I've done that, EC says. It's a healthy way to release energy. I agree with you. That's the best way to put it right there. I agree. It's the little things, right? So there's that one. Let's grab this one that I think is probably adhered and glued. I used liquid glue on this 3D embossed panel. I think it really makes a difference when there's just so much texture on the back of there after using the 3D embossing folders. So something I always do is grab that glue, liquid glue for that. I mean, obviously foam tape would work great too. That has a really nice stick to it, but I didn't want the foam tape there. Love these colors, thank you. And I'm close, we're almost done. Might skip my little enamels just so we can show you some tea. So you'll have to join. Yeah, I'm over today, sorry. I almost did 4 layers. I almost did 1, 2, 3, 4 of the fan just so we could keep going and make both of our cards. But I'm gonna put this down and then I might just wait and get those extra little pieces out of there later. Let me grab we need these. And I used, like I said, I die cut them all ahead of time. I was curious, I kind of laid it out with a sentiment up here, and you wouldn't use these two together, but I think that could be really pretty too. If you wanted to do double sentiment, like it's your day, bring on the cake. I think that could be really fun to do 2 of them. But we'll just go with, I'm gonna go ahead and we'll just finish this one with the eat cake and add some enamels to it so I can spill some tea and let you guys off to your day. It's a short week. Hopefully everyone's made it through. One more day. But I love a good holiday week. Makes the whole week seem like it goes fast. And it feels like a weekend for me because I'm so excited about football tonight. So I'm gonna have to have some football munchies. So thank you. And I do have one. I want to, if you love color, I do have one more thing to show you before we move on. I'm going to place that right there. I don't have my, put that there. And then I took some of that Popsicle enamels and put them mainly in the centers of all of the banners or all the fans. This is totally optional. I just thought they were really pretty and brought another bit of dimension in. Granted, that was on my other 2 cards where I didn't put the embossing folder on this. So just thought I'd put them here, there, and everywhere. I haven't added a few. You don't see them fully down in here, but just kind of a nice thing to bring the, I always try to build these in triangles. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, like to kind of move your eye down your card. So there we go. That's what it looks like with some dimension, and here is without the 3D embossing folder. It also shows you a different layer or a different layout or different of our foilets because there are different ones in the pack. So let me show you. So I love this color combo, but let me show you some more with Popsicle before we go, just for the fun of it. This one I think would be really pretty for a floral layout. So you've got your Popsicle and pear. I think those go so well together, and pear and sweet basil are always good together. Taylor showed you earlier how pretty dragon fruit is. And then persimmons is the one that I had used in this card anyway. That one's fun. Here's another one, Popsicle and fruit punch, which doesn't get a whole lot of use, but it's such a pretty kind of pinky bright red. Candy corn, lime zest, and rock candy. This could be a really great rainbow if you wanted to move your Popsicle and go rainbow this way. Again, we're back to that Popsicle and dragon fruit looking really nice together with strawberry milkshake. And especially, again, being you have green in here, the pea pod and Brussels sprouts would be great for another floral. Popsicle and passion fruit, I think, is beautiful together. So that is a great color combo. And of course, sour gummy. I feel like there's very few things sour gummy does not go with. And I know the live Taylor did on Tuesday, she used banana or buttercream frosting. And that's a really good addition along with the pea pod. One more. This one is, I feel like Tropical Punch has that sour gummy hue in it. So potato chip, which I also had used today, the banana cream pie, would have fit really well in here. Concord grape, Popsicle, pineapple, and Tropical Punch. And this one I really love because I love throwing gray in with purple. So Popsicle, sea salt is kind of our neutral, I feel like goes with a lot of things. Earl Grey, and then our two colors that started this whole thing off, along with the Persimmons and the Papaya, Royal Icing, and Tiki Mule. So if that gives you an idea of some new color combos to play with, things to check out with Popsicle. But I don't know, the excitement around the office has been great, so I feel like you guys are going to come up with some amazing color combos. So I'll leave those there just so that you can take some screenshots. Bring these down in. How does that work? And then are you ready for some tea? Now you have to make sure you check on Saturday to see the sneak video from Whitney and Taylor. And then on Tuesday, our release for, and I think this is fine. You said birthday. It's got to be. We're talking birthday, right? Birthday is next week. Both of these samples were made by Taylor herself. So they're very exciting and fun. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully you get some football or at least relaxing time in. And we'll see you next week.